Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Makak Dash. Double honors unto the elders and the apostles at Great Millstone. Salutation to you, Akim, pushing this word in sincerity and truth. This is your brother Yasad back at you with another lesson. Willing to define through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. You know, Yasad lesson. You know, before classes begin, on my way home, you know, and even earlier on I was doing some reading and yeah, just say to the spirit, let me put together the lesson, you know, because this is day we ought to be more in the spirit and feeding the sheep in this time, right? Especially with all the events taking place, staying in the mindset and the spirit of prophecy. As it's in 2nd Esdras, the 15th chapter and 1st verse, speak unto my people the words of prophecy. Right? But basically this lesson here is going into you know, pride good before destruction. Right? And as you see, there are many accounts in the Bible where kings, heathen kings, they were puffed up with the power and the might, because we know basically, as the scriptures say, you know, the Lord set it up kings and he bring it down, right? So the Lord basically gave all of that into their hands, and through the pride and the puffed up words, hey, the Lord humbled them. Nebuchadnezzar for one, and Antiochus as well, when he spoke proudly and boldly against Israel, the Lord rendered him, you know, a recompense to humble him, you know. So we'll be going into some scriptures and whatnot, you know, and it even ties into being prideful, you being a part of this truth, but pride have overtaken you. You know that when time for correction, you can't even be corrected because you think you're on a high level and whatnot. You know, but the scriptures say, he that thinketh himself to be something is nothing. And there's the next one, but I'll even bring them out in the lesson. The more greater thou art, the more humble thyself. You know, so hey, let's begin in Luke. Just going to the point 18 and the 14th verse. I tell you, this man went down to his house justified rather than the other. Because, let me get lessons. 18 and 10. Two men went up to the temple to pray. The one a Pharisee and the other a publican. The Pharisee stood and prayed thus with himself. Most High, I thank thee that I am not as men and are extortioners, unjust, adulterers, or even as this publican. You know, because we know the scriptures say all have fallen short of the glory of the Lord. Right? Where was the innocent, you know, cut off, according to Job, you know, because we all fell off. You know, even constantly now, because we know, hey, the book of Romans 8 and 20, the flesh was made subject to vanity, which it even goes down into it being subject to sin and these things, because this flesh corruptible. That's why you know, the flesh or being carnal, it is against the Lord, right? It is enmity against Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. That is why even this flesh ain't making it in the kingdom. This flesh ain't gonna be saved, but as the spirit. The spirit is gonna be saved, because the scriptures say flesh and blood can't enter into the kingdom. You know, so you know, even in even the chariots, you're gonna go up in this flesh. You know? But why in the moment and in a twinkling of an eye we shall all be changed. Right? Because this body is corruptible. Right? Let's say I fast twice a week. I give tithes of all that I possess. So he started, boasting out, but letting the Lord know all what he does, And the publican standing afar off would not lift up so much as his eyes unto heaven. Yeah, because he under the vibrational understanding way I just be going off, and as a sinner, but smote upon his breast, and this is the humility. He going down upon his knees, and laid his face to the earth. Right? Saying, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, be merciful to me, a sinner. I tell you this, man went down to his house justified rather than the other. For everyone that exalted himself shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted. Yeah. And this is what the lesson is going into, So first I'll get look at Daniel with the account with Nebuchadnezzar. Daniel 4 and starting at 30. Daniel 4 and 30, it said, the king spake and said, is not this great Babylon that I have built for the house of the kingdom of that I have built for the house of the kingdom by the might of my power and for the honor of my majesty, while the word was in the king's mouth. Yes, he said it's a boast looking upon all he have accomplished. But hey, Daniel 4 in the same chapter and 17, the matter is by the decree of the watchers and demand of the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and set it up over the basis of men. Yeah, so basically what it's saying here is that the Lord set up kings and he bring it down. Right? He in control of who he's passing the ruling scepter to. Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is in control. Right? So the Nebuchadnezzar started speaking proudly about this is what he has accomplished. Right? It's while the word was in the king's mouth, there fell a voice from heaven saying, O King Nebuchadnezzar, the day it is spoken, the kingdom is departed from thee, and they shall drive thee from men, and thy dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field. So the Lord, after being exalted, the Lord cast him down. Right? It said, they shall make thee to eat grass as oven, and 7 times shall pass over thee until thou know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. Right? And giveth it to whomsoever he will. So this is to show you the great humbling. After being, prideful about your accomplishments. Right? That's why the Sirach, although he was exalted very high at that time, right? The Babylonian Empire, being like, hey, no one could even lay the mouth towards Nebuchadnezzar in that time. The Lord set him up ruler, a king. I'm gonna hear Sirach 3 and 18. It said that the greater thou art, the more humble thyself, and thou shalt find favor before the Lord. Right? Yeah. Many are in high place and of renown, but mysteries are revealed unto the meek or unto the humble. Right? For the power of the Lord is great, and he is honored of the lowly. Yeah. Right. Another account in Second Maccabees with Antiochus here. For the fourth chapter and starting at the ninth verse. Um right. Um I feel it's the wrong verse. Let's see. Shalak. Second Maccabees 9 and 4. And it said, then swelling with anger, he thought to avenge upon the Jews the disgrace done unto him by those that made him flee. Therefore commanded he his chariotman to drive without ceasing, and to dispatch the journey. The judgment of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai now following him, for he had spoken proudly in this sort, that he would come to Jerusalem and make it a common burying place of the Jews. Because Antiochus, I think that was, let's see, wait, no, right, Antiochus at that time, he had won many strongholds, and his name was great and famous for all the wars and things that he had won. Hey, and many people that was quiet before him, even this Antiochus, right? You know, so it said that he would come to Jerusalem and make it a common burying place of the Jews, but the Lord Almighty, the power of Israel, again the God of Israel, Joel 2, I think it's 2:27. And they shall know that I am in the midst of Israel and none else. Right? It says, smote him with an incurable and invisible plague. For as soon as he had spoken these words, a pain of the bowels that was readiless came upon him, and sore torments of the inner parts. Right? It says, and the most justly, for he had tormented other men's bowels with many and strange torments. Because these Edomites, they were known, even this time here now, they were known for a sort of evil acts, interfering with men's bowels. They come about with the old buck breaking and all these wickedness, right? So what we seen going on here was it was a just punishment, right? It was a just punishment, yeah, a just punishment. It's howbeit he, right? He nothing at all ceased from his bragging. So although he was infested with whatever, disease the Lord placed upon him, he still bragged, but still was filled with pride, breathing out fire in his rage against the Jews, and commanding to haste the journey. But it come to pass that he fell from his chariot, carried violently, so that having a sore fall, all the members of his body were much pained. And thus that a little afore thought he might command the waves of the sea, so proud was he beyond the condition of man, and weighed the high mountains in a balance, was now cast on the ground and carried in a horse litter, so that the Lord greatly humbled him, right? Showing forth unto all the manifest power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, right? So that the worms rose up out of the body of this wicked man, and while he lived in sorrow and pain, his flesh fell away. Hey, this is to show you how scary it is with Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, right? And the filthiness of his smell was noisome to all his army. So just imagine the insides of him rotten away, worms, you know, and he's smelling real bad, like rotten flesh. Now the whole army could not even withstand the age. Fear Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Fear Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Right? It say, he therefore being plagued, he began to leave off his great pride and to come to the knowledge of himself by the scourge of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, his pain increasing every moment. You know? Yeah. And when he himself could not abide his own smell, he said these words, it is meet to be subject unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and that a man that is immortal should not proudly think of himself if he were God. Right? So this is a Edomite acknowledging that after the Lord scourged them. So, hey, that's why the Lord is about to fuck you Edomites up. And you all gonna learn it, because right now you're proud, you're prideful. Daily. The wicked person vowed also unto the Lord, who now no more would have mercy upon him, saying thus. You know, because he instead of he looked at to Jerusalem, you know, because of the scourge of the Lord, and he realized in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai being the power and whatnot, he humbled himself, because that's all he could have done. Right? Yeah. So he started, you know, to free the Jews and you know, be merciful unto them. I to show you the power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Yeah, there's nothing gonna be new. Same thing in this time, right? Because Esau has a great proud plan. Esau being prideful right now with his technology, and what he plans to do is tag or stick and prick, imprint, the people, right? And he's being proud. That is why he's also known as the most proud, and the Lord is going to humble him soon. Ezekiel 28 and verse 4. With thy wisdom and with thine understanding thou hast gotten the riches, and thou hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. By thy great wisdom and thy traffic, the slave trades and whatnot, thou hast increased thy riches, and thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches. Therefore thus saith the Lord, because thou hast set in thy heart as God, set thine heart as the heart of God. Behold, I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they will draw their sword against thy beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness, because this is what's coming. This man here, his empire is about to crumble. As the scriptures say, the Lord going to set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, right? That's why his whole, as Yahushua say, if Satan fight against Satan, how shall that kingdom stand, right? How the kingdom gonna stand if they fighting against one another, right? It won't. Let me see here. The book of Proverbs 16 and the 18th chapter. It says, pride goeth before destruction, and an haughty spirit before a fall. Right? Yeah, it's a pride. I will read it again. Pride goeth before destruction, and an haughty spirit before a fall. Yapa. Right. Now down here, Proverbs 6:16. These 6 things that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai hate. Ye is 7 an abomination unto him. A proud look and a lying tongue. You know the scripture said the wicked is estranged from the womb. They go it about speaking lies as soon as they be born. And the hands that shed innocent blood. Right. And heart that devise wicked imaginations, feet that be swift in running to mischief. And this describes this man. Proverbs 4. They talk about this man, he can't sleep unless he calls some to fall. A false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren. Yeah, and all of this describes this devil, right? And that is why it's all gonna lead up to his fall, right? Sirach 10 and 7. You know, because hey, Second Thessalonians, you know, this man, he sit in the seat of God. I'm gonna get that first. As he say, you know, Second Thessalonians 2 and verses 2 and verses 4. Who opposed and exalted himself above that is called God. Because hey, you know, just well, 2 years back, you know, with the technological advancements and whatnot, hey, they started saying we don't need the God of the Bible anymore and whatnot. Bill Gates, Klaus Schwab, they all speak proudly, you know. It say, or that is worshipped so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God, because soon he plans to sit in our temple via his microchip, you know. That is his ultimate plan, his ultimate enterprise. That is why auto securum or whatever it say. Going back to our, he had favored our enterprise, you know. Right. Sirach 10 and 7. It say pride is hateful before Yahweh Bashem Yahushai and man, and by both that one commit iniquity. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. Right? And that is it, you know, because of your pride, because of all your unjust dealings, your riches got by deceit, you oppress a man and his heritage, you know. Yeah, your covered fields, you take them by violence, all of this, you're gonna pay for it. Right? Jeremiah 50 and 31. Just to the point. It said, behold, I am against thee, O thou most proud, saith the Lord, and of hosts, the day is come, the time that I will visit thee, and the most proud shall stumble and fall, and none shall raise him up. And I will kindle a fire in his cities, and it shall devour all round about. And then your capital city is Babylon the Great. That way you promote and profess, you know, that your city are greatness and whatnot. And the Lord is about to destroy that in 1 hour. Via the nuclear missiles. The moment your capital city fall, that is just the beginning of your great fall. I'll end off in Malachi 4 and 1. Because hey, that's the spirit, because it's all going back to the nuclear missiles taking your ass out. Micah 4 and 1. So Malachi 4 and 1. For behold, The day shall come that cometh shall burn as an oven. What is going to make the place burn as an oven is them nuclear missiles, the warheads, the splitting of the atoms, causing the explosion. And all the proud, yea, all that do wickedly shall be stubble, and the day that cometh shall burn on an oven, burn them up, say the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch, because I the destruction, It's gonna wipe out everything. And the scriptures say in 2 Peter, the elements is gonna melt with fervent heat. Hopefully this lesson was edifying. All praises to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Till the next Shalom.